yesterday when I was putting the darker color over the stencils, I kind of pushed it into all the crevices, the dark molasses color, and then I wiped it off the face. I decided I didn't like it that way, so what I decided to do was repaint the inside and around the edges of the stencil with 3 different orange colors and a little bit of the yellow. And then when that dried, I wiped back over it with my brush laying flat, dragged my brush across it just to leave the darker brown on the raised part of the stencil. However, that created a problem for me, which looks like this. I don't know if you can see the halo around the stencil, and that's from me putting a couple different orange colors inside of the stencil and kind of dragging it to the outer edges. So what I'm doing today is trying to fix that. You can see that I have fixed it on this wall, and all I need to do now is fix it on these last 2. Sometimes it seems to work out and other times it doesn't. So let's just give this a try. What I have been doing is just adding a little bit of glaze and wiping over the halo around the edges of the stencil and just dragging it out a little bit farther than the stencil, so that you really don't notice that big transition between what I've painted and what I'm adding the faux finish to, again, the glaze finish. So, okay, I have a little bit of glaze here on my cloth. I'm going to try to see if I can get this to match up like I did the other one. Seriously, it's really been giving me a problem. But that's what I want you to realize too, that you can make mistakes. You just need to figure out a way to fix them. So we're going to just drag this a little bit further than where I painted it. And I have a little bit more glaze underneath my rag here. So I want to pull it away from that a little bit. Hopefully we can get this to blend back into the wall so it doesn't look like I fixed the raised stencil area. We can kind of maybe blend the 2 together and blend it around the wall a little bit. See how I'm going past the stenciled area. It's looking a little bit better. I'm not exactly happy with it. We'll just keep working at it, adding glaze, removing some of the glaze, dragging it a little bit past. Now I'm starting to rub in a little bit around the edge of the raised stencil just to kind of remove some of that glaze. And I removed a little bit too much here. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's tough to get it to blend back together. So we'll push in from the side. Now don't go the whole way around the stencil because you don't want it to be real noticeable. Just kind of rub into some areas and leave some areas with a lot more glaze. That way you don't create another halo. And then every once in a while, step back and take a look at it so you can see if, and you should do that anyway, even when you're not making a mistake. Step back, take a look, see if you like the direction it's going, or if you need more glazing somewhere. And you can always add, if you get a spot that's too dark, use the technique that we did in the beginning, just kind of dry brushing paint over the raised area of the tissue paper. Kind of, you know, if you want to add a little bit more highlights to that. Okay, so I'm going to step back and take a look at it. It's looking a little better, but I'm not totally in love with it. So we'll just keep rubbing. Get rid of some of that glaze. Try to blend these edges together. And at some point, you just have to say, you know what? That is the best it's going to be. And I'm not ready to say that yet. So, I'll just keep working at it. Maybe what I'll do is drag a little bit of this orange color just a little bit past that. Past that halo that I created. To help kind of blend those edges together. And then again, we can add more glaze if we need it. But we'll pull it out a little bit further from the stencil this time. I might need a little tiny bit more paint on here, not a lot. Because you don't really want to paint it, you just want to add a little bit of this color down in here. And I'm kind of laying my brush flat. I don't want that much there. We'll do the same over here. Wipe a little bit of that off. And I'm going to go past that halo and out into here. So there's not such a big transition. Okay? And bring it down into here a little bit. Can't really see that great here. And up here. And then you'll probably want to let this dry for a little bit. Come back. I'll put another coat of something on when I come back, and then we'll keep working with trying to remove this halo I created by making a mistake. So put a couple of your if you made a mistake like this, put a couple of the first colors that you've used. Just kind of drag them away. And you're going to want to come over here a little bit farther too. And over in here, pretty far past your stencil. Okay, now like I said, I'm going to let that dry and I'll come back and put another color on over top and we'll see if we can get that fixed. Thanks.